Your 20s, you should, no excuse, be working 80 hours a week. 80 hours. If you live in America and have the opportunity to make all of this money and have all of this opportunity, work 80 hours a week. It is doable. I'm telling you right now, it is doable. All right? Grab a fucking, if you don't have a job right now, go apply to Amazon. Go apply to a bunch of jobs. But hopefully, you can get an Amazon warehouse job. You can work there, guaranteed 40 hours a week, and then some overtime as well. Sometimes. Depends on the time of the year. If it's busy enough, they'll have overtime as well. But a guaranteed 40 hours a week. Right? That's a good starting point right there. And then get a car. If you don't have a car, rent out a fucking car and do some gig work after work. Or if you're not getting overtime on your days off, do gig work. Do that shit for, 10 hours a day, 10-hour runs. And then after work, do it for a couple hours. Do Instacart, do DoorDash, do whatever the fuck, and try to make an extra, $100 a day. All in all, you'll be able to, after tax, bring in about $70,000 to $85,000 a year. It depends where you live and how busy it is and all that. But just based off that alone, you can get very far ahead in life. You can clear your debt and, have your rent paid off for a year, have an emergency fund. You can do this all within a year without a degree, without any of that shit. And yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, the jobs fucking suck. But if you have no other choice and it may seem like there's no hope, that's your opportunity right there. That is your opportunity. Or if you're good at sales or something like that, you can go do a job if you truly have that skill set and you want to learn and grow on that. That's a really good job too. But you have to be good at it. You have to be able to sell, and because it works off commission. So the better you are at it, the more money you'll make. But a lot of people are not good at that. Anyone could work a fucking warehouse job. Anyone could thug through it. It's a really tough job, depending on what warehouse you work at. It's really physically demanding, and you're going to be tired as fuck. So just make sure you're eating right and clean and all that, getting your exercise in as well, taking care of your body outside of work, so then you can work your 80 hours a week. And that's not, that's not the forever plan. But if you could just lock in and do that for a couple years, put away, 20, 30K in investments over those years, you'll be in such a better position than most people around you, and just like a better position for yourself. Like, you're not going to really have to worry about money later on in your life. Once you get a base of about 100K and you don't blow it on bullshit, don't ever blow it on cars and all that. Once you have 100K, leave that shit. Let it invest. Let it grow over time. Do not touch that shit. If you're not making, fucking 100,000s a month. If you're making around 100,000 a year, you let that shit grow. Let that shit grow. And then eventually you'll get to the point where you won't have to work those jobs anymore. But also, while you're working these 80 hours a week, you have to work on something else as well. So overall, you're going to be working 100, 120 hours every single fucking week. But that's for, people who really want it bad enough and really just want to make things work no matter what. So have that guaranteed income at first of your 9 to 5 and the gig work. And then work on some sort of business as well. Now, this is going to probably take you years and years and years to truly develop and understand what's a good niche for you, what you are good at, and just a lot of different factors, a lot of failure you're going to have to go through to really start making money from that. Usually, Depends. But you can't count on that in the beginning. So while you're working on that, you'll have your income coming in as well. So you're not stressed out on money. And you could work on whatever business endeavor that you may want to just endeavor on. It could be literally anything. It's 2026. You can make a business out of anything. But it's going to take trial and error and years and years and years of work. And then once you get it started, you're going to have to work more and more and more, regardless, depending on how far you want to go with it and all that. But that should be the game plan in your 20s. You know, you could also go down the school route as well and all of that, or down a trade. But I'm talking to people who may be in a bit of debt and have no job, and it just may seem like it's over, it's hopeless, it's not even, there's no point of even trying. But you can get back up on your feet quicker than you think if you really just trudge on through it. You know what I mean? Because I've had my car repossessed. I've been $20,000 in debt. And this exact strategy has saved me from all that. You know, trudging through all of that has made me better and put me in the position that I'm in right now. So, and it seemed hopeless at the time, but over time, you get to that point where it works. It works itself out. And it might take you a year, because I also had to fucking Uber to my warehouse, and my license was suspended and all this shit, so I couldn't do gig work right away. I had to fucking Uber every single day, $25 there and then $25 back. Sometimes I would walk, sometimes I would take the bus. There's no direct bus route, but sometimes I would fucking just walk in the heat for 2 hours home after my fucking shift. You know, I just did what I had to do. But now I'm in the position where I could work the warehouse job. My suspension is lifted on my license. Like, I fixed all that shit. I'm not in debt anymore. I have investments. I have savings. I have an emergency fund. And I do gig work as well. And I'm pursuing, you know, the business aspect of it. That's the point that I'm at right now. That I'm entering right now. But it took me about a year and a half, 2 years. Maybe not that long. A year to a year and a half to get to this point right now. From, you know, the hopeless point. The point where I'm in piles of debt and my car just got repossessed, and I see no way out. And that was my way out, you know? And for somebody that may feel like a fuck up, like you fucked it all up, there's always hope. There's always an option to grow. But you just have to really make that choice and take the actions to finally get there. I love y'all. Peace.